Yeah. All right, Dr. Mbithi, the reality, mambo kwa ground, we are in a serious debt situation, or so we have been told. We have also been told repeatedly that coffers are empty. And this government has taken the position that it will not borrow, or rather it wants to cut back on external borrowing to fund its budgets. So realistically, did you see this coming?
Yes, I expected this to come because government, as you have said, you know, the coffers are empty and we know the debt burden is over 50%. And so what we are simply saying is, how can we reduce or make sure that we have money to pay that debt and also not borrow more? Because we are getting the country into a deeper and deeper crisis. But again, to do that, there are two options. One option, of course, is to reduce expenditure, just what Wanjiku has explained, so that we don't use a lot of money. We cut down on our spending. We use austerity measures in different areas where government can, and if possible, to maintain the development projects which are important for the country to move forward. So if government doesn't do that, or even if it would do that, it would still need more money to pay the debt. So I expected to see, you know, some action towards broadening, bringing more people into the tax bracket so that government can have more money to pay the taxes. But again,
are those not the digital content creators? Who else has been?
Yes, for me, when you talk about digital creators, they are in business. So those are the soft target for government, because those are people, if they are not paying taxes, or if we can get money from them, if not, they have not been paying taxes, it's an opportunity. That is one of the low-hanging fruits, where if these people are not paying taxes and they are making quite some money, they are not startups, they can be able, government can be able to get money from that to be able to meet the government obligations. You know, it's a dilemma, because on one end, government must have money so that it can be able to create development. But the other point is, and I think Wanjiku has spoken to that, when this money has been collected, it will depend on whether for it to cause development, it will depend on where it has been invested, what government has used it for. For example, if the government will use it for infrastructure and other support mechanisms that create, you know, development, then we are likely to see the economy doing well. So those are some of the concerns. And one of the key concerns is when the government is trying to broaden the tax base to have money, the key concern comes some of the things that are being taxed. You know, we know government will tax. We expect to see government taxing, but the point is some of the areas which are being taxed will have more impact in the economy because they have a much multiplier impact. For example, if you tax those very small income earners or those certain sectors, for example, I see the money transfer through cellular phones, excise duty has been increased from 12%, is proposed to increase from 12% to 15%. This is one of the instruments that we are using currently to do a lot of transactions. Somebody in the countryside, people in the city, they can easily be able to do a lot of transactions. So when you look at that, you realize that could be a soft target again for government, because many people are using, we are transferring lots of money through cellular phones. But what does it do? It increases the cost. And that means even the little amounts of money that we transfer will be taxed. And as we know, the economy is not doing well. And because the economy is not doing well, it means more money, you know, less disposable income for people. When the taxes go up, it means the monies that remain to somebody to do other investments or for consumption or to buy goods and to create demand in the economy will go down. If the disposable income goes down or the monies that people have to spend goes down, we will also see this in the economy. Because what it means is if people do not have a lot of money to spend, for example, we've heard about taxes on income for the housing scheme, which in my view, I would call a forced saving. Because for the ones who are not interested in houses, because the proposals are very clear. Those who are not interested in the housing or those who do not qualify will get the money after 7 years. But are really people being, you know, forced to save, you know, can it be voluntary? So when those deductions take place, again, what we are saying is the monies that remain, the disposable income, and we know salaries are not high in Kenya. For example, you can ask ourselves, how many people in Kenya are earning more than 100,000 per month? You know, they are not that many. So if deductions which are there, pay as you earn, and we all go on and remove 3%, you know, the cost may look interesting. But at the end of the day, we are leaving little and little money in the hands of the workers, hands of people. And that means then they consume less. Therefore, there is less demand. And when there is less demand, there is less production, because the farms or the companies are producing to sell. So if people do not have money to buy those goods, then there will be less production, and we are likely to see an impact in the economy. On the other hand, the monies government uses, collects through taxes, if it will be used to stimulate economic activities that create employment, that create opportunities, then it can also be a source of development. Now, let me add that from the Women Economic Empowerment Hub, we do believe that when a woman is empowered, it's not only for herself, but it is for the household, it is for the county, it is for the government. Because when a woman has income, that income benefits the family, and it's the one that contributes, put together with the rest of the earnings in the economy, will contribute to better GDP. So from the Women's Economic Empowerment Hub, first we will appreciate that the VAT on liquefied petroleum gas has been exempted, because we know that is one of the key concerns for women, because women are much more involved in cooking and carrying out household activities. That is good for the women as they do their work of cooking, household, but also we know it is good for the household. And we know it is good because currently we are talking of all the measures to mitigate climate change. And so that will encourage more use of liquefied gas. That is better than you know, wood and other fuels that would lead to climate change. Also, we will appreciate those exemptions in the agricultural sector, the pesticides and the inputs and so on. Because again, here we know that when we have majority of women who are involved in the agricultural sector, in the farming business itself. So in a way, they'll benefit from such exemptions, even if it's not in a great scale. Because again, we know women in those sectors are in the bottom end. They are not the ones having big farms where they would benefit greatly from any subsidies or any benefits that come with such provisions. So we would really appreciate that. But on the other hand, we will note that when government provides exemption on liquefied petroleum gas, on the other hand, petroleum products taxes have gone up. So what has it done? It's just what Wanjiku has said, giving in one hand and removing in the other hand, because we know petroleum touches in all the sectors of economy, and that will impact not only in production itself, but also literally in all the sectors of the economy.
All right, and I'll come back to you after I hear from Dr. Nabwire on this, because this quote has really been bandied about a lot.